immense value. We must always respect that immense value. Nintendo products have immense value. We must always respect that immense value. Nintendo products have immense value. We must always respect that immense value.
Bro, what is you talking about, bro? Dude out here sounding like he's some form of a cult, bro. We must respect that immense value, but unfortunately, Nintendo don't respect y'all, bro. That's why y'all out here paying for a tech demo just so you know how to operate your Nintendo Switch too, bro. You people ain't nothing but a bunch of zombies. You can't tell me there ain't nothing going on in that brain of his, bro. It's nothing but an empty shell with no turtle in it. This is crazy.
You see, these things don't go on sale. It's like,
right, that's another point.
That is still not a proper justification as to why Nintendo raised the prices, bro. That is subjective. So according to you, you would pay $200 to $300 just because you happen to be a Nintendo fanboy. This type of behavior is the reason as to why the gaming community is what it is. And you people know it, man. A lot of it stems from the fanboys. You guys are hurting gaming more than you guys are benefiting even yourselves as consumers.
The value is the value, and we are really like seriously into that concept of respect the value of what this thing is. That
but Nintendo don't respect you. That's why they take advantage of you guys like a bunch of fools.
Have made because it is very special.
The only thing that's special is what's going on in this little, I don't know what it is, podcast that y'all got going on here.
Yeah, and on the one point, it's a great thing for the brand because you are trained.
Girl, what is you talking about? Trained? What? Trained? Girl out here acting as if she's a cat or a dog. Oh, you know, we're trained to buy Nintendo. Bruh, this makes me not even want to pick up the Switch 2. Is this what Nintendo's doing? You guys are adults. Listen to yourselves. Adults. You guys know that you're full of crap. Trained to go out there and buy a game console and some video games? What about the enjoyment? What about the fun? Let's talk about those aspects. Why do we have to sit there and use language like, oh, you know, I was trained to buy these Nintendo games? That is pathetic. I can't even believe those words came out of a grown woman.
Thing is that we have made because it is very special.
Yeah, and on the one point, it's a great thing.
It's a great thing. Right, at this point, just admit that you have no problem being a corporate slave.
And because you are trained, like basically as a consumer, to think like, oh, like...
No, as a pet, as a dog or a cat. No different, right?
This is worth the price. It's not like...
This isn't Ubisoft.
I was just going to say, it's not like the Ubisoft situation where I always tell myself, if I wait a month, will this get cheaper?
Right.
Like, as a Nintendo customer, fan, I feel like all of us are kind of like, conditioned to be like, well,
condition. I can't believe it. You out here use the word like condition, bro. Man, I hate to say it, man. If y'all a Nintendo fan, man, please don't tell me you're on the same level as this, bro. This is why we have a problem in regards to some of these fanboys that come to my channel. Conditioned? Are you serious? You're conditioned to buy a video game and a video game console? What about, oh, I pick up Nintendo because I like it? You go as far to say, I'm trained and I'm conditioned. Clearly, this is a mental problem you're talking about. So when this dude brought up the fact that, oh, you know, it's special, I think he meant to say special needs. Crazy.
Month, will this get cheaper?
Right.
Like, as a Nintendo customer, fan, I feel like all of us are kind of like conditioned to...
And I am conditioned not to support one.
Well, I'm going to buy... If I want to buy this... I might as well buy this now because it's not going to go on sale.
Yeah.
So yeah, on the one.
And how is that a good thing? How does that benefit you as a Nintendo consumer, considering that you want to play their games, but may potentially not have enough money to play them, even from 7 to 8 years from now? Even though Nintendo has already got their money and they could potentially put these games on sale, but they choose not to because they got dummies like you that will single-handedly give them $60 for a game that came out 8 to 10 years ago.
And it does, you know, good things for their brand in terms of like training your brand.
But oh my God, we went from training, conditioning, training your brain? Woman, what are you talking about, bro? This is supposed to be a video on Xvault gaming, and for some reason it turned into y'all. What? Train your brain? Wow.
I might as well buy this now because it's not going to go on sale.
Yeah.
So yeah, on the one hand, it does, you know, good things for their brand.
How does it do? But see, you see how they always talk about the brand, but what does it do for you? You guys want to sit there and talk about how these companies are anti-consumer, but what does the company do for you? Stop talking about the brand. The brand is completely irrelevant. What does it do for you as a consumer? And you know what Nintendo's doing is anti-consumer. There's my point. Y'all gonna sit there and defend this? I don't care how many fanboys think that they're gonna talk crap because they pick up the Switch 2 and Nintendo's back to the glory days of how they were during the NES and Super Nintendo. But this type of behavior is the reason as to why gaming is going downhill, bro.
In terms of like training your brain to do that.
Wow.
In the other way, it's like, well,
just like you train a dog to go fetch, just like you train a dog to go eat, or like how you train a cat to take a poop in the litter box. Woman, I would expect you to be far better than this. Okay, you a grown woman talking about how you are conditioned and trained to do something as if you're some form of zombie from The Walking Dead. Like, this is pathetic, bro. What are we doing?
How far are you taking this concept of like how much your stuff is worth?
Oh, they're taking it far. Clearly, $80 far.
Because again, there is so many other factors that come into
Next is going to be 100. And if we got more people like this from Nintendo, they might even push it to 250.
to pricing something, but the sort of the weight that they put on
Girl, please.
this just being something from the magical box that is Nintendo.
Magical box. Bruh, it's a video game. Calm down. What are you talking about, magical box? And this also goes back to Nintendo and what they used to do for children and getting them to buy their toys. And remember, let's not forget, Nintendo was a toy company back then. It's the same mindset, except now they're doing it to adults. I hate to say it, man. I like Nintendo too, but I'm not like this, bro. This is some man-children behavior, bro. And this is what's causing the industry to be what it is today. All those complaints, everybody's saying that gaming ain't the same. It's because of people like this. This is ridiculous.
Nintendo makes it like you're paying like a Nintendo markup.
It's a Nintendo tax. It's their
Nintendo tax.
Why would I want to pay a markup on something if it's not worth the value? There you go. You just proved yet again that Nintendo is not for the consumer. If anything, they're against the consumer. But we're going to sit there and act like an upcharge on a game that should be priced at $60 is beneficial to their community as well as yourselves.
We also say, like, in looking at it, it's like, well, you know, this game that we made was $60. A lot of those other games that are $60 are junk. Like, they don't have the Nintendo level of quality or polish or attention, so we do need to...
What? Bruh. Bro, this is fanboy stuff, bro. What do you mean the Nintendo? There's a lot of good games that Nintendo don't make. Okay, that are actually good games, bro. Where have you people been? Maybe because you've been playing on Nintendo your whole life and you missed out on a lot of games. That's why y'all damage controlling for Cyberpunk now, because you didn't buy a relatively new console or PC to play these games. But these games have been out for a very long time, even before Nintendo. If anything, Nintendo got into a lot of its ideas from a game like Elder Scrolls Skyrim with Breath of the Wild. That's the reason why you like the game. Because it catered to another game that was popular at the time that you potentially missed because you was a fanboy.
To distinguish that, like, how premium this thing is.
Yeah, it's so premium that they use the lowest budgets. I mean, look, you can't get any more premium than Pokemon Z&A, bruh. Out here looking like a game that came off a phone. Bruh, come on, man. You want to talk about premium? Well, the only thing that's premium is that Nintendo label, bro. That is crazy, bro. Nintendo has got their community programmed.
Through the pricing. And you will come to understand that.
What? What do you mean come to? And I don't need to come. Well, hold on. Whoa. I don't need to understand anything. I was going to say the way he said it, but then it sounded inappropriate. I don't have to understand anything. What are you talking about, bro? The consumers, it's like you guys are defending the fact that consumers don't have their own mindsets. This is pathetic. If this is the type of stuff that Nintendo is pushing, then we already know that this ain't nothing but a cult. We already can see it.
Quality or polish or attention, so we do need to distinguish that, like, how premium this thing is through the pricing. And you will come to understand that.
Sounds like dictatorship. You heard that? You will come to understand that. You will understand that these games will be priced at $80 to $100, our audience will come to understand as to why our games are more expensive. Bruh, I gotta hear this again. I can't believe this.
Of quality or polish or attention. So we do need to distinguish that, like, how premium this thing is through the pricing. And you will come to understand that.
Look at this. Bro out here lying to himself, bro. This is pathetic, bro. I'm sorry, man. Like, I ain't even trying to say nothing. This was supposed to be a video about Xvault gaming, and for some reason, y'all, it's like I got a 2-in-1. This is crazy, bro. Zombie-like behavior.
Please understand.
Oh, no, we ain't understanding nothing.
I think it does a fine job. You guys can look at the screenshots.
I mean, it's a PS4 game. I don't know why these Nintendo dudes are running off. It's more powerful than the PS4. Bro, cut it out, bro. Just because y'all got some good ports to Street Fighter 6, which is obviously ran on a PS4, doesn't mean anything, bro. Capcom decided to do that themselves. They touched the game up for y'all to make the game look a little bit better. Maybe to get you guys to buy it. That doesn't mean your console's more powerful, bro.
It does a fine job. I'm waiting to see this more so in motion when it does release. You know, some games are going to look pretty good, and then some games are not. And that might be
the games that I've noticed, the high demanding games seem to be running better on the Steam Deck as well as everything else than the Switch 2. It seems like the Switch 2 is only running games that are very low demanding. Street Fighter 6 is a low demanding game, guys. Come on, Nintendo fans, bro. Mario Kart World, even if the game hits 120 FPS, that game is a low demanding game. You people know it. Stop the cap, bro. I like Nintendo, but this type of behavior has got to stop.
Developer base that might be this and that, but if you're out there thinking you're going to get something as good looking as Final Fantasy VII Remake on your Switch 2, lo and behold, what we're looking at here was we have yours truly in the latest Legend of Zelda game, right?
All right.
And right below that, you see the differences of the original remastered of...
yeah, the original actually looks better than the remastered because the original looked like it has better color. It has better color than the remastered version. The remastered version looks a little bit more foggy looking and faded. But yeah, go ahead.
Horizon Zero Dawn.
Okay.
Do we see quite a vast difference between the two? But people are upset about a $10 upgrade here. But then...
Because that's what you guys have co-signed.
People are okay with what you see on the top end of things.
But see, all right, you know what? This is where I'm going to counter that. Because you guys want to sit there and say, oh, well, you don't have a problem. What do you mean? Okay, that $10 upgrade makes the game look a little different, but I wouldn't necessarily say it makes the game look better. A lot of people said that it takes a lot of the original atmosphere that the game had with the original version that you don't really see on the PS5 version. And also, too, let's touch up on the fact that all this stuff that y'all doing is damage control, and I'm going to explain why. Because 60 FPS. Say what you want about those screenshots up there with Legend of Zelda, but there's one thing. It's 60 FPS. Now, the Switch 1 wasn't going to be able to achieve that. Now, I'm not damage controlling or justifying as to why that's the case, but they're both pretty bad here. I don't know why Sony and PlayStation and Nintendo fans going at it, because you know why? You guys are the same exact fans. That's why. That's why you guys are battling it out. Oh, well, we paid $10 for ours. Y'all paying $20 for this one, and there's no difference. I thought these games were already capped at 60 on PlayStation, though. What would be the point of buying a remaster if the game's already at 60 on the original version? I don't get that, but obviously PlayStation fanboys found a way to justify that, and Nintendo decided to double down on that strategy. Because you can sit there and get upset about Switch 2, Tears of Kingdom, and Switch 1, but the other one's playing at 60 FPS. I'm just saying. Unlike your game that was already at 60. But okay, I digress.
In regards to the base model there, onto a new full-on generation console for more than $10. 15 to 20 or whatever the case may end up being by the release of everything ultimately. But do we see the differences here? Do we see...
Yes, I see that the original game looks better.
Picking and choosing. I would clearly say people have something to stand on if the PlayStation remaster looked akin to what we're seeing from Link.
Yeah, but you're going based off looks. What about performance? Oh, you don't want to talk about that. Performance-wise, they both play the same. You see, you didn't want to touch up on that. Now, that's the difference on the Switch 2. You can sit there and say, yeah, they do look kind of the same, even though I can see the subtle differences. Seems like the Switch 2 has a little bit better color detail. But besides that, it's nothing really that crazy. So I would agree with that from a visual standpoint with the upgrade. But that's 60 FPS. that makes a load of difference. You know that because that's what you ponies have advocated during the generation with the PS5, playing PS4 games at 60 FPS. And now, for some reason, you're using that same argument to bash Nintendo fans. You guys are doing the same exact thing, bro. Y'all hypocrites.
Right? Clearly, I'm going to be like, yeah, I'm not even paying $10 for this. Like,
yeah,
sorry.
and I wouldn't pay $10 for that remastered either because it doesn't even look that bad. If anything, it looks worse.
Not happening. Even if it had a new trophy list, probably not happening. What's the point? Unless you're a super fan, probably not a big point there. I'm okay to admit that. But here we have people, long story short.
Go ahead.
Maybe stop being a fanboy and understand that Digital Foundry might be onto something here.
Oh, really? That's funny because the same thing could be said about you. What are you talking about? You guys are out, both PlayStation and Nintendo fans are out here damage controlling and justifying upgrades for these consoles. And you know what the funny thing about this is? Microsoft does all this entirely for free.
In regards to it being more comparable to a PS4 or PS4 Pro, people just assume this. Because typically when you repackage a game, much we have, the fanboys being like, guys, it's okay.
Just like y'all said it was okay on PlayStation. I see nothing wrong. I mean, if we're looking at this from a fanboy perspective, both y'all did the same exact thing.
It's okay. And if you're okay with it, that's your prerogative, for sure.
Okay.
But don't sit there and be upset when people are complaining about it because
just like people was complaining about it on PlayStation and you sat there and told them it's only a $10 upgrade.
It does make sense. I would also kind of throw some shade towards Zero Dawn's remaster if it didn't come with the DLC. I'd be like, well, that's stupid. Again, up to me if I want to buy it for that $10 upgrade
That's
or
a good
whatnot.
point. That's a good point.
Totally up to me. Xbox fanboys all the time. But man, we're seeing a lot of similarities here. And
What do you mean you're seeing similarities with Xbox? Because the only similarities that I'm seeing is Nintendo fanboys. What are you talking about? Similarities between Xbox and Switch 2. What? We're the ones getting free upgrades. What are you talking about? Y'all the ones paying for upgrades. Gears 5 was updated entirely for free. What are you talking about? Oh, Nintendo Switch 2 fans just sounded like... No, it seems like Nintendo Switch 2 fans are sounding like ponies that did the same exact thing. Even though both of them were calling each other out for it. That's what it sounds like. It seems like that's why you guys are arguing. Because you don't hear Xbox gamers arguing about this. We're laughing at you.
Again, across the board, even PlayStation, there's some as well. But on the Nintendo side of things, what we're looking at here is blatant fanboyism.
Oh, really? And you're not the same type of person. The difference between a Nintendo fanboy and a Sony fanboy is that you guys like two different pieces of plastic. Nothing more.
At its finest here. Again, if they don't hold these companies accountable, you may end up in the same situation that Xbox has ended up.
Oh, no. You may end up in the same situation as Xbox if y'all don't buy your exclusives like how you said Xbox gamers don't. Bro, I can break down your whole argument. It don't even make sense, bro. It doesn't even make sense. Because at the end of the day, Nintendo games are going to still outsell you. And on top of that, their games are at a lower budget.
Let's be honest. That exactly is what I'm seeing with an instance like this. This is
really, because last time I checked, Xbox weren't charging for upgrades, but okay.
Definitely a path that could happen. Will it? You know, probably not.
Now we got the PlayStation, Nintendo Switch. You know, I'm happy, guys, that Xbox is dead. He can't even bring us up because remember, guys, we're gone. You know, Xbox don't exist no more. But it's nice to see, you know, the PC and the Xbox community. We got some good laughs laughing at the Nintendo Switch 2 and the PS5 console war.
But
I ain't getting in it. My name is Bennett, and I ain't getting in it.
It keeps being okay with the crap that's being spewed in front of you, with the pricing, with the lack of content.
Wow, it seems like he's explaining PlayStation. By all means, go ahead.
The lack of upgrades and stuff like that. You're just, again, you're going to make your own bet in it. We're going to have these same conversations we've been having with these Xbox fanboys, but...
what same conversation is that? Because we was getting free updates, and y'all paying for them. I don't understand where Xbox has anything to do with this.
Continue to do your thing and continue to carve that own path there. So let's do a couple more
Man, like I said, if y'all want to see some more, let me know. At the end of the day, bro, Nintendo and PlayStation fanboys, you guys are both two same sides of the coin.